Hello and welcome to December 10th, 2022. My name is Kurt and this is my daily Good Life meditation video, an exercise that I perform each and every morning, just a little bit after getting up. It's 4:25 a.m. right now. I do this in order to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone, particularly in the chapter called The Good Life, although it's peppered throughout. And also in order to see how I did applying these objectives and principles to the opportunities and challenges that I encountered yesterday and to plan for the coming day. All right, first last night and yesterday. I slept really well last night. Correlation, I think, applies here. I think I can directly correlate that to the fact that I had an outstanding day of work. It was a Friday I get every other Friday off. And as such, I only had 2 meetings with the same person. And they were back to back, so it was like 1 meeting. And I used the rest of that time to great advantage. I laid out at the start of the morning exactly what I was going to do, and I tackled those things. And I did all of them but one. Just the last one, I just couldn't quite get, but it was either that or go to the beach. And I elected, my quitting time was there. I had done all my work for the day. In fact, I'd done more because I hadn't taken a proper break or even a proper lunch. I kind of rushed the lunch. As a result, I feel so good. And I slept really well. I only woke up just a few minutes before the alarm, and just kind of I did that more like out of habit than anything else. So my insomnia, or whatever it's called when you can't stay asleep, or you get up a couple hours before the alarm. And I did look this up. I did look it up. This is a worrisome sign. Getting up before dawn like this is not healthy. Whatever that is, it seems to be largely due to work. Get a good, really get ahead on work. Like, I'm really ahead. I'm ready for next week. With the exception of that one thing. I feel so much better. Feeling better. That would be a good one. Just a second, please. So I do this with the dog. Now, I know that this is something that I have to work on, right? Feeling better is something that I can't take for granted. I have to, clearly what I have to do to work on it is I have to do a good job. I have to be a good employee. I must fulfill my duty. Other than that, I had a nice run into the ocean last night. The weather was milder. I was there a little bit earlier because of it was a Fridays. Not only do I not work every other Friday, but the one Friday that I do work, I get to work an hour less. So I was there earlier. I took the hour off at the back end of the day, so I was off by 3:30. Beginning work at 6:30 a.m. Half-hour lunch, but not even that. Okay, so I'm going to give myself a lightning round this morning because I'm going to go do my book reading this morning at the Huntington Beach on 17th Street. So I'll go ahead and wrap this up. And then I can take the dogs for a nice long walk. Feed them, walk them, and begin the day in earnest. So let's do the Good Life faster edition. Goodness. My 7 objectives are: number 1, to be always ready to die. Number 2, to make good and effective use of my time. 3, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles. 4, to cultivate good emotional reactions. 5, to perform good actions. 6, to recognize true limits and true opportunities. And 7, to do just one thing at a time, and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully. Now my 32 principles. The first principle is the principle of war, followed by the principle of reason, and then two principles that go together, the homunculus and the anchor hold. Then comes the principle called the home of good and evil, and then purpose, and then the atomic principle, and the principle of nature, and the pirate ride, and then maturity, and then the social principle, and public speaking, a principle called distraction, and another principle called agency and the great indifference, and those two go together. Then comes a principle called temperance, followed by life will not go well, and then the horror show, and then that which must be born, and then something called the Feast of Offal, which are 5 principles that go together as a unit. And then a principle called the best seat in the house, followed by 4 principles that are a collection. These are the restless man, the path of wildness, the great life adventure, and the risk of avoiding risk. Next comes sin and damnation, complete oblivion, the bullseye aim, the season of philosophy, the uphill climb, arena and utility. Nothing is enough. And then the last principle is called the principle of fun. And usually I take a moment to dwell on what I could do to make today a fun day. That last principle suggests I should remember to have fun today. Also, don't forget the fun of yesterday and plan for good times tomorrow. For today, I'll have fun. What we're going to do is clean the house, do our shopping. We'll have lunch somewhere in there, maybe at Tokyo Central. That's always a good way to do it. And then the fun of the past was I'll remember the great adventure I had last week with my nephew Parker, which I sent him a text and reminded him of. We had such a good time in the desert last week on Saturday. And then for the future, tomorrow Yumiko and I will have an adventure, a restaurant adventure. She doesn't know that yet, but we're going to do that. And then find someplace interesting to go see here in the greater Los Angeles area. I think that's it. Wow, under 10 minutes. All right, well, let's wrap it up. And as I always say, I conclude by saying, with this, my life is done. As I push the button, my life is done. It is complete. It's not finished, but I have fulfilled my mission. Now, that would make more sense if I'd gone into more detail in my principles, but maybe tomorrow. Today, I've got a book reading to do. So take care. Be safe, but not too safe, and maybe see you in maybe about an hour and a half at the beach. Take care.